Are you about to start the countdown? Yeah. Okay, cool. Can I just make the announcements about the live stream?
Yes, let me, yeah, go ahead.
Hey everybody, we're getting started. So I just want to make a quick announcement before Koro does show and tell, is what it's called. And is that this meetup is being live streamed to youtube.com/Philly Game Mechanics. It's coming from that camera right there on top of the Phillytron, and it's filming the space where I'm standing here in a little triangle from the edge of this thing to the edge of this little desk right here. If you're gonna get up and talk, try to stand like in this light right here and talk really loud. If you don't want to be on the live stream, then don't go in that little triangle right there. That's it. That's the danger zone, that's right. You don't get zapped.
Zap?
You're in?
No zap.
No, that's right.
Am I out? Am I out?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a delay, so I don't know.
There we go. There we go. That's the beer talking. Do you need a laptop? No. Let's go.
Hi everyone! Hey! So I recently graduated and I have a bunch of merch for my senior thesis display, if you remember Rolling Bully. So I have a bunch of stickers for sale. This little sticker pack for the big guys like $5. And then you can get all of the small ones for like $1 for the whole small set. So that's it.
Nice warm up. All right, so who wants to be next? I guess we'll go with, I'm sorry, 1 second. Are you ready? Yeah, as long as it's, nothing shady or anything like that. Go for it. He's downloading something shady right now. Itch.io, yeah. After this, we only have one more show and tell to go. But if you have a show and tell that you want to do right now, we can bump you in there. Do you have a description of what this game, I assume? Yes. Present yourself. Then you can finish that off, and I'll take it over. Yes.
Hey guys, I'm Nick. We've probably been in here before, but I work with DBC Tech LLC. I work with Day, Vince. I know they've been here a few times. And we've been working on a game with our dear friend right here called Monochrome. And essentially, it's a 1920s style RPG with a cute little lovable character named Otto. And right now, we're trying to recruit more artists to kind of crowdsource the art for this game. Just kind of build out the world. And yeah, it's 1920s style, all hand-drawn animation. We have a basic demo right now, but we're working on creating a demo plus that we're going to be putting up on Steam and Itch. And yeah, essentially we're just trying to get enough art assets to create the first episode and then create a full story for our main character, Otto.
So while Nick loads up this game, assuming it works, my name is Brian Regley. I've never been here before, and this is a new experience for me. This is my son, Gabriel Regley. And this was an idea that Gabriel and a number of his friends came up with. Gabriel's a student at the Savannah College of Art and Design, and he basically called me and said, there's some friends of mine who want to build a video game, and I've never built a video game, and can you find some people to do that? And Vince and Nick and Dave have been great. Here, why don't you step out of the screen for a couple seconds? What has happened over the course of the last 6 months in working with us and collecting the artists is that I've learned a lot about how difficult it is to be an artist. I'm a real estate developer, I'm an entrepreneur, I've done software work before, and having a son who's an artist and realizing that most of the kids at SCAD don't believe they're going to get a job in the field anyway. The question is, can you really crowdsource a game? Can you actually create a bunch of independent artists that can share revenue off of a successful game? Can you build a framework and a storyline that could carry the creation of a lot of different diverse, neurodiverse individual contributions to the game? So I'm going to ask Nick to just play it and to kind of give you a sense of how we're thinking of the design of this. Our goal is not to create a standard version of one type of art. Our goal is literally to create hundreds of people that would have hundreds of ideas for what could walk around in this community. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Meow Wolf or been out to Santa Fe to see that collaborative environment.
If you did, raise your hand.
It's a great place, right? So think about creating a 1920s, style walking around Steamboat Willie type space where literally everybody gets a chance to add their own art assets. And so what we're looking to do is recruit artists that are willing to do, a plant, a tree, a bird, whatever it may happen to be. We've written a script for Otto. And poor Otto, who lives in this town filled with very entertaining creatures, well, he's a little bit different, and he sees evil where some people are just too happy to bounce around to see that bad things are happening. And he's going to discover during the course of these episodes that the world has some difficulties, and he's going to have to solve them. So now that the screen has gone out, we're going to let Nick walk around a little bit. Nick, why don't you walk around, show him the bed, show him the other creatures. So essentially, all of these characters are built to be animated against Steamboat Willie type animation. So we've actually built a website that Nick and Vince and others have worked on to give people the opportunity to make contributions with individual art assets. And the goal here for Otto is he can either, like Undertale, hit things over the head and kill them, or he can entertain them. And by entertaining them, he makes them friends. And by making them friends, he then turns around and creates opportunities to build his team, essentially all of his troupe of actors that he will work with. And they will eventually become friends. Yes, Gabriel?
They're not actually playable characters. They're part of the crowd. They're like cheering on, like
they have abilities and capabilities, correct?
Yeah, but they're not playable characters.
So, Gabriel, explain to the folks here who you are, what your interests are, and why this is important to you.
I'm Gabriel Wrigley. I'm the owner of, I'm kind of like the part of the group that is actually helping fund this huge project that just is growing and that I hope is growing bigger because it's just this artistic freedom that surges forth and gives this thing life. But most importantly, there is another reason why I honestly want to see this grow. It's because not only will it give people who are artists a chance to work on them, but also the neurologically diverse, including me. Because if you didn't know, which I probably didn't, you probably didn't, I have Asperger's. It's difficult to live with that because people look down at you because they think you're lesser. They assume you can't do much. And this game is what I want to show to prove them wrong. To show that I can create a world that is just so awe-inspiring. That isn't just a simple pixel. It's a cheer for against the capitalist world the life has grown to, and a cheer for the lives of animation and all those who animate.
So we have about a dozen artists who are working on different pieces of this. We're building a more extended demo. The goal is to get it done by the end of the year. We have about 200 art assets to do to get the demo done, and then to do the first episode, the goal is to get about 2,000 art assets. We're actually trying to build a licensing agreement for every artist that contributes a certain number of assets. There's a certain amount of a revenue share that goes to every single artist, so that if we can actually create a viable economic revenue stream out of this, it's something that benefits everybody. So the website is going to be Monochrome RPG. You guys, I think, know Vince and Nick much better than me and Gabriel, but every now and again you might see us show up here to show you some progress because we think this is really exciting. I think we took more than 5 minutes. I apologize for that. Thank you all for your attention. All right?
I hope you enjoyed it. Please, come chat with us.
All right.
That's how the thing goes, right?
So,
Gotta hook up some hardware here.
what's that? Yeah.
Is it an HDMI monitor?
Yeah.
And electricity.
Whoa, is that a NES Classic?
No, this is retro HD. Alright, so this is my alright, cool. We're up and running. I'm Nate Flynn. I am here as one of the team members from MegaCat Studios. My job title there is Creative Director. We're a company that is all across the board. We've definitely shipped to more hardware platforms than most, from everything to from 8-bit era all the way to modern platforms and even kind of experimental platforms like Bose AR. But the backbone of our company came from a very retro place. This is one of our cartridges, Little Medusa. It's I brought it up here out of huge personal bias because I love this game. I think it's adorable. So we actually, you'll see back there, we've got 8-bit era, 16-bit era. We actually are doing Game Boy stuff now, and other handhelds are kind of on the way. Influenced our design ethos mostly is working within those limitations of early hardware to create really efficient experiences that still deliver a lot of punch, the things we really love about retro. This thing's written assembly from the ground up, so it's definitely in a little bit more than just skin deep aesthetics for retro. I mean, we've definitely seen our fair share of pixel art out there in the world and things like that, the influence, but taking it to a very authentic place is a big part of who we are. Beyond that, it's a creative first company, so people have real authorship in each one of the games they work on. Your feedback never goes null, which was a really, really cool thing when I signed on. I'm getting super distracted by playing. Yeah, so we have a bunch of our games here. If there's a place to hook up later, I'll just leave it hooked up and people can check out all the different stuff, all different genres, all different spans. Our company, being as diverse as we are, one of the reasons I came out here to meet all the wonderful, wonderful folks at Game Mechanics is because we actually are always looking for how to empower different people's ideas and bring them to the forefront, get them out there. So I'm definitely here to just see what everyone's excited about, what they're really, really hyped on. If anyone has something that's in the retro space and they're looking for a vehicle to create it, we can offer a lot of leadership and guidance in that kind of role. Beyond that, it's just been crazy fun working in this environment that I did not know could be a full-time job. I came to actually many moons ago, back when it was still Game Forge, debuted a mobile game that I made there, and at that point I was still working normal job and stuff like that, but keeping at it for the last couple of years, I finally got to go full-time indie, which is just absolutely wild. So I'm also here to say thanks for letting me show off my early work, letting me find this leg up. Wish we let me play right now, but we'll sort that out at some point.
Yeah, we could have a little playable area.
Yeah, and also, I was supposed to talk to you later, but we'd actually love to donate a console and a bunch of our games here just to have for people to hang out and play. We've got some great couch competitive and co-op, so when you need to unwind or decide, make that coin toss decision on the design, it's a great way to settle it. Cool. Well, thank you guys very much. I'll see if we can get a little setup going so people can play the other ones. There's only 20-something of them. Cool. All right. Thank you.
Talk to him in person over there. We have to get this going on our announcements.
Yeah, there's super cool awards going on this right here.
Very bad.
I heard it on the internet.
Oh,
You can't believe it anyway.
All right. So I'm gonna try to keep this ship running at a nice brisk pace, assuming that HDMI actually connects. How's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
That's great. All right, so welcome to Philly Game Mechanics. I am Kotaro Fujita, so I'm going to take you through the announcements, and then afterwards, Jake over here is going to take you through the Postmortem Game Jam presentation. So we are at Indie Hall. Indie Hall is this space here. It's a co-working space. If you are a freelancer, you work remotely, you work at home, it's a kind of place that's really good for you to get out. Their deals are usually $30 a day, and it goes all the way up to $300 for a full-time desk, free coffee, free internet, free printers, free workshop space, and they have their first Fridays. You can come in for free. If you're looking to start your own company and you want a place to work, you might want to start here. That's just my sales pitch because I like Indie Hall. Welcome back, Rachel. This is something Sean must have made me say. So welcome back, Rachel. Rachel was one of our organizers, and what I like to call our shadow boss. So sometimes not so shadow, but yeah, welcome back. How's everything at
Cool. I live in Colorado now. I work at Deck 9 Games, who made the prequel to Life is Strange. If anyone has questions or wants to talk about that, I work at a AA studio, so it's pretty cool. Woo!
All right, so next, View Arts is hosting a documentary about GTFO, get the bleep out, documentary about women in gaming by Shayna Sun Higginson, pronouncing it wrong probably. So that will be September 10th from 9 to 7 at the Terra Hall. I don't know much about this, but it looks like it's going to be a good event. I don't know. I think that Shano is going to be there, so I think you can kind of.
Yes, she is.
Okay, so is there? I forgot. Are you?
Yeah. So we're kind of co-doing this with UARTS as also part of the IGDA, International Games Association in Philadelphia. Yeah. So it's going to be 7 to 9 at Terra Hall at Connolly in the auditorium. This is coming Tuesday. There's going to be a Q&A afterward. I think it's going to be really cool. Movies from 2015, but still super relevant. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good time.
Cool. Thank you, Adrian. Okay, so Thursday, September 19th. That's the third week of September. It's Work and Play. So Work and Play is kind of like what I kind of like to call old school dev night, where you come in, you can either play some video games or you can, work on your own video game. It's just a nice casual event, and it's a good time to just, do some laid back work for fun. Is Rachel gone? Oh yeah, Colorado people are pretty strange. Yeah, what is so cool about Colorado anyway?
Mountains are pretty nice.
The mountains.
The mountains are pretty nice.
Not anything about grass or anything specific. No brownies aren't good there by chance. Nothing like that. No cheesesteaks. Oh yeah, it sucks. Anyway, apparently we have October Game Jam. So that will start on the 1st of October. First week we have our announcements, and then you have 2 weeks to make a game. Come back. We'll do a showcase on the third week of October, the 17th. And following right after that, November, we have Philly Game Jam, the annual Philly Game Jam. This is our 48-hour game jam. It's 48 hours, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why I looked at you.
Well, it's actually going to be, I think, 36 hours.
36 hours.
Yeah. Because
but we're rounding up, so it's 48, right?
That's
how that works.
It's like it's not 48, but it's not 24. It's like somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So it's 48, quote unquote.
Yeah. It's a 48-hour game jam, but a lot of that time is actually showing the games and actually being able to go home and go to sleep. Does that make sense?
That sounds like a very humane thing to do.
Yeah.
Sleep?
Yes. So November 16th and the 17th, it's a great way if you really want to get into making games. highly suggest that if you haven't made a game before. It's a really good way to jumpstart the process. I bet they don't have anything like Wawa in college. Do they have anything like Wawa?
No, that's why the first thing I did when I got here was go Wawa.
All right. Damn you, Sean, with your silly running jokes. All right. And apparently, before that though, speedrun lightning talks, November 7th. If you want to do is it 7 minutes? I think it's like a 7-minute talk about anything. You could talk about baking. You could talk about, I don't know.
Video games even.
Video games, yes. Making video
I don't
games.
recommend
If
it.
you want to talk about making money,
Pancakes.
you got business advice, finance, real estate.
Your favorite curry.
You could talk about your feelings. 7 minutes.
Oh yeah.
No. We have limits. You want to advise that? Okay. Can't talk about
7 minutes and 7.
7 minutes and 7. Yes. So the sign up is this link here. If you have questions, come to me about that link. Wait, Rachel's still here. Colorado people are great. Yes. All right. Wow, this list is long. IGF 2020. Submit your games. So it's an indie game festival. I think. Is this something? No. Wait.
It's GDC. It's way out there.
It's way out there.
Yeah.
But if you have your game, and even if it's in a even if it's in a somewhat not complete state, I think you can still submit it.
Just so you know,
Yeah.
I know, like,
Yeah.
you probably want to wait till your game is like close to being finished. You can only submit the IGF once, correct? That's what I
You can only
want.
submit. I think you can only submit that game.
Right. So IGF is like.
What's that?
Yeah, your games are finished, right?
Okay.
Oh,
But if you
you
get
got
nominated,
it.
you don't
Yeah,
win,
you good?
couldn't like do it again. Yeah.
So soul game.
The big thing is that Philly Game Mechanics is going to try and sponsor people, so if you can't pay the entry fee and stuff, we're looking to help people out who might need assistance to submit. So let us know if you submit, and we can help you out.
Yes. Thank you. Code of conduct. All right. So yes.
If we're going that far out with announcements, I'll also make the announcement that we're going to take the Phillytron to MagFest again this year.
Woody, I'm going to say something after quoting is done.
Oh, you are? Okay, great. Never mind.
Do you want to say it now, or do you want to?
All right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Great. Hey, I'm Steve, your best friend and second favorite non-binary professional wrestler. And Woody and I and a bunch of other people made this arcade cabinet, and you can put games on it. And you might want to do that for 2 reasons. One, November 1st, I haven't added it to the slides yet, but we're doing the Indie Arcade at Color Space that some of you may have attended or had your games at. It's one of our more popular events. It's just in this cool space in Fishtown. You come, play games, drink beers, open bar. It's really fun. So we're looking for game submissions for that. So if you can sort of like man a booth and show your game, that would be great. If you can't do that, you can put on the Phillytron, because the Phillytron will be there. And there's instructions on how to do that on phillygamemechanics.com/arcadecab. And then after that, we're also taking the Phillytron to MagFest, like Woody said, in the beginning of January. So if you want your game shown at MagFest and can't go or didn't get into MIVs, you can put it on the arcade cabinet and we'll take it down. And then, apart from that, a former Philly person is running the arcade portion of MagFest and is looking for people with alternative control games. So if you have a game that cannot be played with a controller or keyboard and mouse and is some sort of like non-conventional, weird whatever that you construct and have to travel with, we're looking for submissions for that as well. You'll be hanging out with the likes of Baby Castles and all those cool New York weirdos everyone looks up to so much.
If I can tag on really quick, I'm one of the department heads for MIBS, and our submissions just opened this past weekend, so if you guys have any questions, you can ask me to
Go to MagFest, it's really rad.
Is there a date for Color Space by now?
Like for submission?
Is there a date just for it?
Yeah, it's the first Friday. It's a first Friday event. So it's,
Of November, right?
yeah,
Okay.
whatever day that is. Presumably
So many things happening in November.
1 through 7.
Holy cow. All right. So. We're good? Yeah. All right. Code of conduct. All right. So this is very important. Make sure you keep it in mind. Be inclusive to everyone, respect the space, digital and real. So if you're on our Slack or Discord, don't be a bleep. Use constructive criticism, hold each other accountable. So if you see something, that's a little bit not feeling good, feel free to tell us about it. Death Knights, raise your hands. You can do it. Shadow Boss. We know who you are. Just get in touch with one of us and we will work it out. And our Patreon. So we have a Patreon here. That's how we pay for our space here. That's how we pay for a lot of things that happen in our events. That's how we pay for a lot of hosting and other services that keeps the game mechanics running. You can give as little as $1. You can give as much as $10. If you do the $10 deal, you get some swag. What kind of swag? I don't know. It's a surprise. It's amazing swag. We can't tell you because it's custom swag. Anyway, it's beside the point. It's really awesome, and we really appreciate it. And these is our Slack and Discord. Apparently there's Slack is where you want to talk business, and Discord is where you want to talk shit. So feel free to pick your choice of chatting. We offer both. And this is how you can find us. Meetup, Twitter, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. They can all be found at phillygamemechanics.com. So that is it. And there is
I think there's more slides, though.
That's the thing.
There's more slides?
Isn't there more slides?
That is it.
Oh, that's it? No.
So now, assuming that Jake has other slides, we are going to move to the postmortem presentation of this event. So please welcome our good friend Jake O'Brien.
Sorry, I had to run back to my house to get my stupid dongle. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the finale of Profit Jams, which we started a short 3 months ago. Tonight, we're going to do a couple things. It's not going to take too long, but we're basically going to wrap up. After I do a little bit of intro, I'm going to ask anyone who wants to from any of the teams to share how your game did. And if you don't understand what that means, I'm going to explain to the people who weren't here. But any Profit Jam teams who would want to, it's not mandatory, but if you would like to share whether you met your goals, whether you made any money, whether you shipped your game, how many people got your game, anything like that, this is kind of like the final learning moment to hear like how all your games did. So think about whether you want to share and what you want to share, and we'll get to that in 1 second. And we're going to also give out some awards for the participants. So that's what we're doing tonight. But for those of you who don't know what Profit Jam is, let me go through it really quickly. Profit Jam is a jam, second time Game Mechanics has done it. It's different than most jams in that we don't ask you to just make a game, we ask you to make and ship a game. So not only does that mean that you have to market and monetize and do all the post-production things that you don't normally have to do, but you also have to, it takes the level of the production stuff to a whole higher level. So you have to have more polish, and you have to be more organized, and you have to make basically a game that works and runs from start to finish, and people can play who aren't just sitting at a computer in front of you. Usually we take 2 weeks to do a jam. This one was 2 months. Officially, the deadline for finishing your game was a month ago. We started 3 months ago. And this is the finale because part of the jam was seeing how your games did in the wild. So everyone was intended to kind of ship that many people didn't ship by the deadline. I didn't even start my game until after the deadline. It's not a hard rule. It's like, it was a guideline to motivate people. But the goal of it was to try to get a game out there and learn and to teach and learn from one another along the way to try the skill that we don't typically do. So that's what Profit Jam was.
we had an amazing amount of participation. There were 15 games made, which is awesome. Dozens of people participated, which is really cool. And so before we get to awards, I would like to hear how the games did. Would anybody like to kind of share how your game did? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Celeste, and I'm the project manager / producer / writer / social media coordinator for Butter Rat, and we made the mobile game Cauldron. We made 0 monies. However, we did successfully get our game onto the Google Play Store, and we also successfully have a full soundtrack on Bandcamp. So that's pretty fucking cool. All of our music was made by Miranda and Julie right here, and their music slaps. So please buy their album because they did a fantastic job. So that's all I have to say on that.
Was it free or was it paid?
You got paid for that.
The game.
Oh, the game is free to play. However, you do have to pay if you want like extra diamonds or whatever. But there's some problems still. But you know what? We still got on the store.
Yeah,
we got on the store. So that's what matters, and we made it.
Awesome. Very cool. Who else would like to share how their game did? Yeah.
Hey, so I'm Alex. I was the lead designer programmer for Shmup, Bloodjack 2, Alex Cole, and Dan Palma, and Daniel. I don't think Daniel's here. So we worked on that. We made about $55. We sold 9 copies, but about 2/3 of that was tip, which was kind of nice. It was kind of mixed bag. We successfully got through the process and actually made a little money, which is cool. But it was also, I guess, for me, sort of, I'd always known that, obviously, you stick a price tag on something, it's going to be a barrier to entry, and so I was kind of wondering, how much of a barrier to entry is it? It's an order of magnitude or two, I'm usually used to, work on a game, somewhere, between, maybe a few hundred downloads, but this is, nothing, so. So now I know. Don't know if anybody else has anything they want to add.
Are you gonna honor your vow to never do a monetized game again?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Anybody else? Okay. Nobody else want to share game stuff? Okay, that's cool. Did I see? Oh yeah, cool.
I sort of failed miserably. So I made, if you didn't know, I made a game called Point Break, the movie The Game HD remix, in which it is based on the original film Point Break. People keep asking me if it's based on the remake Point Break, which is a rude question, I think. Of course it's the original. So you play as Patrick Swayze and his gang, the ex-presidents, and you jump out of a plane, surf, rob banks, just like the film, I think. And since we decided we could set our own profits, the profit I was trying to achieve was to receive a cease and desist from 20th Century Fox for using Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves, and Gary Busey's likeness, as well as a lot of the audio. I have not received a cease and desist, despite retweets by popular Twitter accounts. I really don't know how to sell games. That's why I work for a big company that does it for me. So yeah, I've learned nothing. Other than to keep stealing shit.
And live in infamy.
Okay, cool. Any others? Okay, awesome. Well, first of all, I think that, this is the last time we'll officially touch on it, but this is kind of just the start of those games in the wild. So for those games that got shipped, hopefully we hear about them again. If you have more successes or you iterate on them, or you do anything with them that's interesting, please show and tell that in a few months. I think that'd be really cool to see how these things progress. The first Profit Jam, the games didn't all do, it's a month. They've been out for a month. It's not a ton of time. But a lot of those went on to do interesting things. So, I'll bring that in. So we were very impressed by everyone's participation, and I think it's so much work and such an ordeal to actually make a game, and we're so proud of all of you guys who went through that that we get awards for everyone. So, we have these enamel. Do you want to hand them out? So we got these enamel pins made. Anthony and Amato are kind of based on this, but they all have the name of your game. And we got one for every person who participated in the game. And Anthony, Amato, Nicole's husband designed them, and they're really awesome. And yeah, so some of you guys are going to get multiple, because some of you worked on multiple games, which I think is cool. So yeah, I'm going to just go through the games. And those of you who are here, come up and grab them and take them for your teammates if you think you can hand them off. Otherwise, we can keep them and we can give them to them when they show up next. So yeah, let's just go through the games. So, bananas. Brian Palladino, Alan Weiserdorf, Logan Mako, Johnny Costa, and Nick Palladino. Are you guys here?
He
Cool.
bailed because he's a weenie.
Okay. we'll get him the pins. That's okay, not everyone's going to be here, but we'll get him out.
We'll give him a round of applause, though.
Yeah. Jack 2. Alex Higgins, Dan Halma, Danielle Buono, and Alex Cole. Come on up.
Yay,
Alex, you might just want to stay.
Alex is the sound designer of how many?
At least
3 games.
Collaborate with him.
All right. Bot shot by 4 races. Floyd Johnson. Is Floyd here? Okay, cool. Cauldron. Team of 12. Amazing. Celeste Cottrell, Judy Ty, Armin Smith, Julie McLaughlin, Miranda Peralta, Daniel Bono, Ken Earing, Nia Beal, Lamont Robinson, Ariana Williams, Colleen Michael, and Armando Sensor. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Oh wait, which ones? Maybe I should make a note of which ones are here. Well, I'll talk to you next time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So,
yeah, that team of 12 was like you guys brought for the organization. The Come Up. Robert Nally, Alex Cole, Dan Halma, Michael Hudak, and Leanne Traynor. Wow. Come on up.
Sound boys in the house.
All right, Luna, Brian Baldwin, Will Cole, and Jesse Bracken. No? Okay. Mod Cityscapes of Dandola, James Felty. Okay. Paper Skater, Dew Point Games, Cameron Connor, Woody Fentress, and Tom Madras. Cameron is long gone. Paper Skater.
He's alive.
He's alive. He's dead though. Not really. Okay. Point Break, the game, HD Remix. So we got Point Break, the game. Sorry. We thought that was the most important part. Nice. Scattershot, Gossamer. Tom is not here. Is he? No. Okay. Applause. Good, that was me. I didn't get to show my game, but I made a mobile game. Maybe I'll show and tell later. Chiquatsuna, Tubby Cat Games, Phil Simmons, Emily Molitary, Alex Cole, Ileana Dasco, Dan Halma.
His legs were getting out.
After
standing so many times.
Did you post it on the rack?
Space Module, Sean Pierre. He already got this.
Sean.
He is a space model.
Sean. He took it already.
Oh, he took it.
Yeah. Starbuster, pilot program with 2 eyes. Me. This doesn't really, that's mine, sorry. Void Defenders, Sutton Ashby, Gary DiCia, Johnny Chrissy, Zach Phil Simmons. You did not work. They told you to include you. They told me.
Take it anyway.
So I think Sutton told me to include you. You got a pen. But applaud for everyone with Phil. And
Boo,
that's
Phil.
it.
Boo,
So
Phil.
a big round of applause to all the participants. It was super awesome. Thank you guys. That was really cool. That was quite an experience. We're going to chill out and go back to our normal game jam schedule. In our next game jam, I think you probably mentioned while I was gone. That's going to be the 1st of October, first Thursday of October. So thanks. Give yourselves another. I guess we popped enough. Thank you. The rest of the night we're just kind of hanging out, and yeah.
Thank you for running the jam. I know. like a liar.
You really are. That is almost a something, right?
And I was like so much confused by what I saw. Oh, okay. Yeah. With a giant, especially from Colorado. Oh, cool.
I don't know if you're gonna try and
They're really clean. I don't know if you saw. Do you see the trailer? No.
You're really gonna
I'm not sure.
Never mind, it's not that.
It's like a Sonic reskin, Do you want some
I don't know her. I'm kidding, that's not
Hello, pausing the game.
When is that? Okay. Yeah. What do you want to do it?
She's
So the other thing I was right. So that was my other question. Two questions. Once it is maintaining what should be
Sorry guys. I'm gay.
Not like a heavy one, but like a plastic sleeve that's just the shape of this, so when we wrap it, it's just and just cut it to the shape and wrap it. I mean, because I think that's the best option. And it's just, and it's just fabric where you roll up because really that's the only thing that's giving us the top is that it like it'll take a corner and put it you know, like it'll break, this is really the worst spot. This spot here. But you know, those things wouldn't happen if you had a cover on it. And if the outside of it was a smooth plastic, it would, if it did hit, it would just slide and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I think that's our best bet. And then just keep track, like whenever you're gonna meet, just keep track of the hours and stuff. And I know someone's like probably, you know, he's probably gonna want to do it like so the other thing is, Steve and I were talking, so that was the one thing, Steve and I want to I prefer to just go do Kyle's story. It's totally handball everything. So there's no fire. So my friend build a permanent AutoCAD file, and my friend has a membership in a fabrication lab. But then I wanted to ask you what you think. There's not very much like just a solid color to start, like some very basic design, or would you want to just like put on a piece? The only funky thing is the license, you know, actually realizing this color. So yeah, Jane, like Jason is here. Oh yeah. Totally utilizing this color that we do. Okay. You know the code? Yeah.
It'll be how it is. I never knew that. I think I'm
Yeah, I mean, whatever the easiest, like, to get us to an access. Because we're probably not going to be able to do that for I don't, on my side, I don't know. Yeah, but on my side, I don't even know if make the files and actually get all that stuff done. This we can do, but this I don't think we can do not from your standpoint, but from the ability to make the file, turn the file.
Yeah, like I can read Reddit and everything, and I was like, yeah.
So, but we'll plan on like the middle to end of November.
From work, like customizing my stuff. I've been on that. My brain right now is really
so yeah, because then like then I can aim for
Nintendo by 75 cents, so I can have sales on sale.
but I can aim for this week the middle of it. Then we have all of or the rest of November and December. And you can come in and do whatever it is. Because that's the thing I'm worried about. Is the annoying, I mean, you were here, all the hardware guys together. It's just a lot. Yeah, it's just a lot. So, that's what the thing is you're trying to
you wait until the end, everything is over, including whatever entry is happening. It's just like a movie with what happens when it's over. It always hits you with something, no matter, it's like looking y'all over again.
I just know it's part of the yeah, I was, if you're cool,
I kid you not, I called my mom, like,
again.
because she's like, and I was just crying on the phone, and Judy was next to me, and she was like, calm down, it's okay, I'll have
What do you mean a reason? You don't need a total reason. What? Come on, are you serious? Wow.
So loud that she was now the voice of my voice. I was like, they won't run out of the game, but emotional as it's just like when it's they don't think about it, and she don't have like I mean all of them like if I being mentally is there.
Yeah, I mean, then, you know, we'll have to talk as far as like, you know, what budget for it, I think it's a great idea.
I just watched it straight from YouTube.
It's really like whatever you
want.
want to watch the budget.
So like if it's
I mean, if you're in a budget,
I sometimes think to myself like, oh, maybe I'll watch it elsewhere. But like, you know, yeah, like Oprah looked pretty okay.
Yeah. I mean, the purple.
I wanted to feel like it hurt a little bit, but
I mean, I think you did. I think you did in a lot of ways. I mean, you should see this when it's like it's one of the only cabinets that has and it pops like a motherfucker too. Like, and it's the only cabinet that has a black arcade. So this really pops because it has like a lot of I mean, I would say if I had my like ideal budget, like these spaces. I think being able to leave and I think whatever your sketches that you have, if they look good and you're happy with them, making the sketches outside art,
and I wasn't expecting it because I honestly didn't
I think it would be still being able to keep on it, but having this be like functional that's the stuff that I think if this never changed at all, like I think it looks amazing. I know you have like yeah, I mean, it's like let's talk to Sean. Let's plan on at the very least like early February, whatever, go meet, whatever that and that'll make sense too set aside more money for it. I'm going to talk to I'm going to talk to Sean. Yeah, and talk to Jake about moving it.
Which then led to me just like sitting on the floor of my Apple.
I'm gonna, like I said,
my sister's like, look at what I got. She just went to it. She's like, Nintendo. And I'm like, yes, baby, it's Nintendo.
For what kind of phone? What kind of phone?
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun. I'm really excited. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm really, it's like very bizarre, like, but super, yeah, it's cool, like, be able to go to a public space and be like, oh yeah, there's the game I made. Yeah, totally, yeah. It's the same guy.
I'm like, okay, I'll bring it to the
But yeah, I'll definitely ask them. I'm into like honestly whatever you want to do, whatever idea is going to work.
I feel like anybody that I actually purchased the Xbox is my experience. He's 12.
Yeah, and the first like kind of year of the updating it, adding it.
I want to say that we might have, I haven't told one because like my family has
and that's all.
So I feel like I see this stuff.
It just needs the space between, like the reactions that you go on, like those gaps. So it just needs to be a little bit more, a little bit more thoughtful about like, okay, what is the big yeah, exactly. And it means that like not
I can show you our social media that has some cool
it'll
stuff.
just be that.
I'm sorry. But yeah, if you have like a lot of new individuals, like I have a Google Pixel play properly, but you know, for Android as well, so yeah, and then certain people can log into it, and then the programmers just the project is over.
Casually on how to get in some.
Judy's really over here hustling. We've lost him. Find my son. Well, do you guys all do whenever you think you have to string all your stickers together? Like, I mean, $6 you're like, where the fuck
Jared from the Fentress project taught bug where you run and roll around and like do little favors for your bug. Set in a
I hope that it's not a bird. I don't know. Okay.